The phone call that you're about to hear is in relation to a topic that I covered last year. I would highly recommend watching that video to understand the context of this phone call. On December the 1st, 2020, an account named Anonymous Apple released this phone call that was apparently not supposed to be shared, at least from what I'm aware of. Here is the original description of said video. Now, there is a small downside. Apparently, I only have 39 minutes of this phone call because I think I screen recorded the 39 minutes of it for use in my video, so I didn't get the full 42 minutes that is listed here. However, here is what I have that is left preserved. Enjoy.
June, when I visited, right?
Yes.
That Plan B, the second one, I didn't plan on buying that. Like, I didn't plan for that to happen.
Right, that was my fault.
Yeah. I did say that, at the moment I did say that, yeah, I would buy it, but internally, I was not okay with that.
You should have.
You know? I was smitten in love. Like, I was in love with you. Like, I just looked past it.
It's also my bad because there was a misunderstanding. I legitimately didn't realize that the Plan B didn't work the way that it did. That I never had to use it before.
Right. Yeah.
So it was like shocked to me, and I was like, oh shit, you have to get number one, and then
Yeah.
was like shocked to me.
Yeah.
But also, did you say that you had enough money for it?
I did, but that didn't mean that I wanted to get it.
Right, so how much was it? Was it $50?
It was $50. I did get some snacks at the CVS as well. I did get an expensive, large water bottle and, I don't know, a thing of fruit snacks or some trail mix or some shit. I don't remember.
I didn't like if you give me like is your PayPal?
I can't tell anymore. You do realize you came the second time in me without consent, right? Like, I didn't plan for that to happen, that's why I was freaking out.
Wait.
That second time, the reason why I had to buy that second Plan B is because I didn't realize you did it until I asked you, and then I started freaking out. You remember that?
Yeah, but I thought that I guess there must have been some kind of misunderstanding.
Yeah. Do you know what that's called? That's called date rape. Because you did it without my permission. Yes, it was unprotected. Yes, it was fun. But at the same time, you did it without me knowing until it was... I wouldn't say it was too late, because it would be too late if it was by day 3.
But hold on.
Well, the first time I got the Plan B, yes, that part was planned out, but the second time you did it was not planned out. That's the reason why I had to get the second ones, because that second one was not planned.
I think under my opinion, I thought that it was, but it was a miscommunication. And then we were both shocked about it.
I thought you were, gonna pull out.
See, I didn't think that I was. I thought that was an understanding.
Right.
I'm terribly sorry about that.
Yeah. If it makes you feel better, I'm not pregnant. I had it for July, August, September. I don't remember October, and it hasn't hit yet for November.
That didn't happen.
What was that? I'm sorry?
I felt terrible about it that that whole misunderstanding happened, and then we had the whole shock moment.
Yeah.
And I blame myself for that. That's my fault for not communicating with you better.
Right.
Because in my mind, I thought we had an understanding that okay, we would do this, and then the Plan B would work the way that it did. But in my head, I guess it didn't. It wasn't the way reality turned out to be.
Right.
I had a different understanding of how Plan B works because I never used it. So
Yeah.
I didn't mean for it to be my date rape. I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah. That's what it's called. I didn't realize was called until somebody told me about it. That's a, I talked to a local friend here, not some stranger on the internet, like a local friend here, and they said, yeah, that's date rape, because he did it without your knowledge until you asked about it, and he said, yeah.
But it was more or less like, in that context, it was more like an accident, because I thought that we both understood that I was going to come inside you.
I mean, that was the first time. That was the first time. That's why I got the first one. The second one was not planned.
I thought that the plan B would last like a day or two after.
It does not.
Because I didn't. That's my fault for not knowing, but I didn't do it purposefully because I knew that was the way it was.
Mm.
So that wasn't intentional. I didn't. It was, if anything, it was a lapse of judgment. I've had that happen a lot, but it was not purposeful.
Right.
Especially not against you.
Right. I mean, and you know my past as well. Like, I've had this happen. I wouldn't say this particular situation, but I've had this type of grievance against me twice before. And the first time I've been pregnant because of it.
Was it a grievance?
I mean, that's a very watered down term. But this was mild compared to what has happened to me.
Right. I mean, I don't know how else to apologize. I mean, I really do want to send you that money.
I mean, you can. I have my Cash App up.
Yeah. Can you show me some? Do you still have your Cash App up?
Yeah, it's... Because, yes, even though I did have the money at the time, it would have been a proper move to say, hey, my bad. Let me take care of it. You know?
Yeah, in retrospect, yeah, but you kept saying you had enough money, and...
Because I felt bad. I'm like, no worry, I'm like, you know what, I'm okay with it, it's alright. I mean, really, as I look back internally, I probably wasn't. Now that I think about it.
Say that again?
I said, as I look back again, even though I was flailing, oh, it's okay, I look back and, and I'm thinking, that's just another $50 I have to spend. Because as I looked in my bank account history, I actually spent my entire paycheck during that type of trip.
See, I didn't know that. If I would have known that, I would have totally been up for helping you pay for it.
Yeah. So I think my check before I came down there was only maybe what, 500, 400?
No,
because I had just started my job, and it was Father's Day weekend.
So it's from my credit card. There we go. Your payment could not be sent because it does not want to exchange cash with you.
What? Hang on.
I'll send you the error.
Let me find it.
Block me.
I don't know. I haven't been on this app since the beginning of the month, so I really don't know. Let me check.
That's the error I got.
That's odd. Hang on. I'm going back.
Cash App is the same. I didn't change it. It's still at Rosner with a dollar sign in front of it.
It's searching. That's odd. Because I really don't know how to figure this app out because I don't know how to block people and I really have no, purpose to block anybody. Actually, let me see my Venmo works.
I can do it over Venmo.
Yeah. Let's see. It's the same on Venmo.
Okay, let me go. I haven't used this app in a while either.
So what's your thing on there?
My thing on here is
Uh, um,
oh wait, are you on this one?
no, I'm on.
Because I see you as here, but that's probably a different. It's probably an old account.
Is it my name and then a picture?
Oh wait, let me check. It's a picture of you with a.
No, it's an old one.
Okay.
Hang on.
Oh wait, I think I found it. Yes.
Right.
Let me just make sure this is on my payment system. But otherwise, you're okay, right?
I mean, yeah, up until the point that somebody pointed it out, like, yeah, that's what that's called. And then I had a point of realization after that. I mean, because I was, like, deep in love with you at the time, and, I basically looked past that until it was, like, brought up again, in recent events. And then they pointed out, like, yeah, that's what that's called. I'm like, oh. And please know that this was a local person I talked to, like somebody that lives down the street from me, like local in my town. Not somebody on the internet.
Okay. I don't care who told you. I mean, I understand the concept. I mean, I feel terrible about it.
But yeah, that's what that's called. Yeah.
Let me know if you've received it.
Yeah, I got it.
This isn't like a payment to make things right, because it doesn't. Because the action happened. It's because I want you to have that money, because it was just not. There was bad communication, and it happened, and you didn't know your financial situation was that dire.
Right.
I don't know how it is now, but you still deserve that money, so.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I can should have been sent.
Yeah, I got it.
So,
I got it. And
I understand the situation. I mean, I can't apologize enough for it,
Right.
but I didn't mean that in any way with malice. It just.
Well, I didn't think it was malice at the time until somebody had pointed it out to me. They're like, yeah.
There's no malice now. Is it just semantics? I don't understand right now what's going on.
I mean, I pointed it out to somebody and like, oh yeah, this happened, with so and so at the time. They're like, I know what that's called. You did it without your knowledge at first, and I'm like, holy shit, you're fucking right.
I mean, I frankly didn't have knowledge about how the Plan B worked. And I was doing it under the pretense that it would be fine and nothing would matter, just like all the previous other times that we were doing it.
Right.
And so, I guess semantically it checks out, but...
I mean, it worked. I mean, in the end, it worked. So, I mean, I was happy with the result nonetheless.
I mean, if that's the reason you want to, like, block me and everything, that's...
No, it's more than that.
Okay. Because if it's just that feels a little strange. But if it's just, everything else accumulating, that I can totally understand. And I stand by. That's valid.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but you are. I mean... You grew these people. And it breaks my heart, too, like, it shattered the relationship that we had. And I've even read there's at least two others that, to my knowledge, that are anonymous right now online as well.
Which one?
They just have a random username and their bio is, I'm only here for anonymity, or however you say it.
Either way, I was messed up back then.
And that's not an excuse. Autism's not an excuse, it's not a crutch.
It's not an excuse, but it's a reason. And I didn't understand what was going on with my head and what I was doing. But I mean, I still let it happen, so I'm not completely out of guilt. Because I do feel that guilt. And I am responsible, and I have to be held accountable.
Yeah.
I understand your feelings.
Samuel, you should have... You had the choice to stop yourself.
I didn't have the mind to, and now I do. And I wish that I could have been figured out back then, so it didn't come to this.
Right. And you do realize this is a lot of people. And some of these people were, yes, were of age, adults like your age now, that things happen to, and it accumulates. You've got to take responsibility for that.
I've been having to live with this every second of every day since it happened, and it's been, completely crushing on my conscience. And, after a dizzying time of thinking, now I can just truly see that a great deal of what happened was my fault.
Good. For realizing that.
Yeah, I didn't realize it before. Before I thought, my brain was convincing myself that, they're overblowing this, that this. But no, I was being a terrible person, and I was doing really bad stuff.
Yeah. Some of these people are still in therapy because of it. It's been 5 years, I think, to my knowledge, the earliest one. Yeah.
But yeah.
Do not use your mentality as a crutch. Do not use it as an excuse.
I can't say that it didn't contribute, because it totally did. But, me as a conscious living being had to take part in that. And I have to acknowledge that, which I am right now.
Yeah.
So, I still think it's important to understand that we shouldn't be defined by our past mistakes and who we are now.
Oh, it's going to impact your future. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I know.
It could affect your job, it could affect your school, it could affect where you live, it could affect your neighborhood. small little details that you got to think about that could affect every minute of your life.
I know, but back then, when I was like in my early 20s, I wasn't thinking about that. And frankly, I simply wasn't looking out for my future self, and I didn't recognize that what I was engaging in was akin to twisting a knife in my own back and others for the future.
Right.
And now I'm fucking realizing that, and my biggest regret is the borrower's debt, basically, in my youth. And I don't know, the best I can do is be refined in my accepting of responsibility of this and having a proper response to it when I get around to actually drafting it in a responsible manner.
Yeah.
And, you know...
Because you know it's been 3 months, right?
Yeah, you know that I'm in grad school, right?
Weekends exist.
I have to deal with all that knowledge, and if I fuck up, then they'll kick me out. That's already on the table. People have already contacted them about me. That's been on the table.
Right.
And my health is already underneath everything that's been crushing it. Time shouldn't really matter in this case. It's not going to be a year, though. I've never had it that long. I want to actually, work through this. And I've been talking with a legal representative who's going to help me, proofread what I'm planning to write and put out.
But do realize the Romeo and Juliet law will not save your ass. It won't. I've already looked at other previous cases that this type of law, quote unquote protected. It made the older person the losing team. And most of these cases were, Louisiana, Alabama, Missouri, type of, west southern area, not like Georgia or Florida. Maybe South Carolina, but yeah.
I don't know, is anyone wanting to press charges on this? Is there a case,
I have no idea. That part I don't know.
Because honestly, if I just come out with this, I would like to move on and apologize, privately to them, in earnest. It'll be a black mark on me for sure, but, it doesn't have to be a legal thing, because that costs so much money.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just a waste.
No.
What is there, financial compensation I have to give to them? Am I going to go to jail for this?
I don't know. I don't know.
Still, if anything substantive comes from this, I want to get the word out about this kind of disruptive behavior. Because it could totally happen to people who aren't thinking about it when we're young, because there's no manual for how to interact if you're a vulnerable person in either role.
And even with the younger manipulative, I want to say manipulative, minds that could be manipulated at such a young age, thinking it's okay.
Yeah, it's the parasocial relationship dynamic that exists now, that never exists years ago. And now it's just so ever present with so many personalities online, and just egos being stroked, and just it's complete laissez-faire on the internet, unchecked, and shit happens. And there's no real manual for this. You have to really rely on these kind of organizations, I feel, to educate people who are, in their late teens and early 20s to prevent this kind of thing from perpetuating. Because I think the lack of proper addressing of this stuff and all the psycho stigma that comes with it, it just perpetuates it, especially in people who are undiagnosed with psychological stuff in their early life, like I was, or even more if they get into a power role, if they get all this fame really quick and they don't know how to deal with it properly.
And the ego was big.
Yeah, and mine totally was. Looking back on it, I didn't feel like it was, but you don't feel like you are back then until you get a a check.
Yeah, and
Like,
everybody noticed.
reality. And you look back on it, and you're like, wow, yeah, my baseline was way off. But also at the same time, I look back and I see that, yeah, they still have theirs pretty high up there, and it's pretty obvious. But I had that too. And I'm glad it's not there anymore. Because, shit, it was an addiction. It was like heroin. Getting off social media for, like, the most part has been great for my mental health in that respect. You know, regardless of everything else, but I don't need to preach to you about that.
Yeah.
But, you know, regardless, after everything, I appreciate you for your kindness.
Yeah.
And, you know, while I struggle to find my way forward in this new crumbled hell world around me.
Right. And, you know, I will miss the person I was in love with, but I just hope the future is different.
I know the future is different, so I'm at least at peace, but I don't know how to convey that to you, because trust is...
It's at 10% right now, we'll be honest.
Yeah. That's valid, too. I don't expect you to trust me after everything.
Right.
You can only trust the words that are coming out of my mouth right now.
Right.
But for me, I know I can trust myself in this moment. And that's all I need. But for you and everyone else, the best I can offer is a proper atonement.
Right.
Like, I mean, I got nothing else right now other than my family and my future career. Like, I have no reason to lie anymore. I'm sick of this shit.
Right.
Sick of who I was. I want to have that person stay dead in the ground. But you're probably sick of talking to me, so if you want to hang up, I understand. Just be done.
But yeah, just wanted to let you know about that. I will keep your number. That's the only thing that I will keep of you on any device I have. You know, the memories were great. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. And tell your parents I love them. And I hope they're safe.
I'm going to be seeing them for Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
which is going to be very good for me and very good for them. It's been very hard for all of us.
Yeah. I hope they're safe.
They're doing pretty well.
Yeah. I hope no one's attacking them. I hope no one has sent them death threats.
From my knowledge, I think they've been fine. I don't know if they tell me everything, because I honestly don't know. But I'll have a better idea when I get back to talk with them in person.
Right.
But yeah, on your side, I hope everything's good with you and your job outlook. And
It'll get better, but we'll see.
were you able to find any new work, or are you still at that terrible place?
Yeah, I found a new job. I'm getting out of here next week.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Is it another medical place, or something better?
That's another medical. Less people, more help.
Yeah, that's good. That's a step in the right direction, at least. So I'm glad you got that.
Yeah. I just wanted to tell you all of that in detail and the true feeling.
I appreciate you for telling me that in earnest.
And you notice how I called you Samuel a little while ago.
In this call.
Do you know what that means for me?
What, you mean in this call or before?
Yeah, in this call, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't do that anymore. and then you won't have any more trouble.
Well, I'm gonna have trouble for the rest of my life, or at least until, people realize that I'm not a monster. But
Well, just don't do it anymore.
absolutely
All you can do.
No. Even though you can't take my word for anything, this feels like we're beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
This pretty much racked me to my very core. There's no reason for me to ever think about any of it. I really did age a whole decade within these 3 months.
Right.
Because I was already just general stress was pretty much aging at an accelerated rate mentally ever since I started the program, but definitely as the year to school year went on, it was grinding on me. And then this was it's like that scene on fucking, was it that movie Interstellar, where they go to different far off planets and the time dilation fucks with the crew. That's how it feels for me. I feel like I've aged way more than other people in this past 3 months, and through that I've gained wisdom and a lot of growing up I needed to do.
Yeah.
And I've still lost people.
Yeah.
I care about losing the acquaintances that I've held for a long time. They weren't really my friends. It was just coming to the realization that, unlike you, so many people who I legitimately thought were close just, completely threw me to the curb without so much as a concerned message or anything. Just an immediate ghosting. That made me realize that they were never really my friends to begin with. That grabbed me more than most stuff that happened.
Yeah.
And, it was pretty horrifying seeing people that I really genuinely cared about just completely upending me because they didn't want to be associated with me in the public eye.
I mean, I wouldn't blame them.
I know I don't blame them either, but it's just, looking at it from my perspective, it was awful. It was more than I could bear, and it was absolutely crushing.
Yeah.
That's a life changer.
Yeah.
More over, just.
Yeah.
And then some.
Because I don't think they would want to be associated with the type of person that you've basically been perceived as.
Yeah. Even though a few people, recognize that I'm not that person anymore, and know that I'm not a monster, and have still kept in contact with me, it's still, basically immediately losing all of my best friends in relative silence was totally devastating to my psyche. And honestly, I don't think people really change until something like that happens to them, until they're completely fucking ripped apart. There's no learning that happens. And I honestly 100% believe that with every fiber of my being after having been through this. So,
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying. For you to believe me on this, and that change just fucking happened. I have no other way to prove that to you other than putting out, what a statement. I don't think people are really gonna care about that.
Oh, they do. Trust me, they do.
I mean,
They are still asking about it.
not caring about it. I mean, in terms of, believing it.
Yeah.
That's something I always wonder, no matter what I put out, will people believe it? I don't know, because...
I mean, silence is much louder. I hope you realize that.
Oh, for sure. But I think coming out of it so quickly, I think that's also...
Oh, no. Oh, quickly would be an hour within something happened. It's been a good while. It's been 3 months.
I'm already mentally compromised. I'm already alone in COVID times.
I mean, I am alone too in COVID times, but that's not stopping me from moving on in my life.
Understand. If more people understood how mentally finalizing grad school education is in medicine, things would maybe be a little different in terms of how a reaction would happen. But yeah, there's inevitably going to be something. I'm going to try to get it by Christmas, because by Christmas I'll be home with family and I'll be able to be in a better position to mentally pour myself into something proper to write out. And it'll be in a better time. I think Christmas is a good time to have something like this out.
I mean, do note that you did also say this for Yom Kippur as well.
Yeah, but I didn't. I underestimated how much I had to atone for it and look through, because I want this to be thorough. I don't want this to be like half thought out just because I was under pressure. I want this to really mean something. I don't want it to be, oh, because it's Yom Kippur. Oh, because it's symbolic like this. No, I want it to be meaningful. I want it to be well thought out and true and genuine. So it was a nice idea, but that didn't work out. And that's how it is. And I'm haunted every day that I can't put it out. It haunts me terribly. Don't think that it doesn't.
Oh, I know it follows you wherever you go.
Just don't think that I'm perfectly fine when I wake up. I'm absolutely destroyed every day knowing that I live in this world now. That's of my own creation. I know a lot of people will damn me to rot forever, no matter what I do. Try and repent, but it's the right thing to do, even if my reputation will never recover and I'll never be forgiven by some people. It's the right thing to do, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't want to tear your ear off with all this again, because you've already heard this from me.
Yeah.
And it's really up to you at this point. I've done enough.
But yeah, just wanted to call you for that. I'm very strong on that. This is our last phone call.
Okay.
Your number is the only remaining thing on my phone.
Gotcha.
Of you.
Honestly, it should be. If this is how you're feeling about it, absolutely. I don't want to be any more of a damper on your conscience or your psyche or your life.
Right.
Because I do care about you, and if I'm causing you this strife, then get rid of me. Because I don't want to live with that either. I don't want to live with knowing that I'm causing you any more pain.
Right. But yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your talent and you coming to me with this, and I'm glad we got an understanding.
Yeah.
And, I don't know what else to say.
I'm out of things.
Yeah, me too.
So long and good night.
Yeah, so long. Have a good night. I hope the future and everything that you endeavor yourself with just works out, and there's just happiness and prosperity ahead for you. I don't want to see you in any more strife.
Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna press the end call button.